Welcome back to the Crypto's Key Conversation. We're going to quickly jump into CoinGecko here. We're currently sitting at a $1.83 trillion market cap, sitting up 2.5% for a 24-hour period. Looking at the top 10 here, Bitcoin sitting at 38,501, Ethereum sitting at 2,685, Tether's Tether, Binance Coin sitting at 379.31, Cardano sitting at 105, Solana sitting at 99.67, XRP sitting at 61 cents. Dot sitting at 1948, and then Terra sitting at 50.94. And as we come down here, we're seeing a lot more green in the market. So looks like we have a little bit of upside in the market. But coming over here to the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we're currently sitting at a 20. So we're back in that extreme fear range. And obviously, there's still a lot going on. We talk about it in all our videos. You know, you have Jerome Powell and the Fed, inflation, uncertainty with the tapering and the interest rate hikes, and just uncertainty and a lot of FUD that's just going on in the market in general. And it doesn't help that you got, banks and news articles coming out, just a bunch of negativity kind of further suppressing and add more weight and add more salt to the wounds of the market. Coming over here, I wanted to start with Johnny Deaton's tweet here, and he's referencing Mickle Market's tweet where he says, wait, this is too funny. In the middle of the SEC case, Ripple starts ramping up XRP sales. What does the SEC do? Tattle to the court. The SEC is getting bullied by Ripple. So Johnny Deaton had tweeted, he said, absolutely proof that the SEC never believed it can prove today's XRP a security. If it truly believed its bogus, absurd allegations, it would have sought a preliminary injunction to stop ongoing sales of XRP. It allows $50 million per month in illegal sales to help fund the defense. And there's a gentleman down here says, or could be a female, Shane Craws 47. It says, Ripple uses illegal funds to fund legal defense. How funny and ironic. I thought that was pretty funny to kind of start the video off with. So coming over here in a more pressing topic, this Hodl Maxi or Pompous Maxi is referencing the Blockchain Association, and they're pretty much saying, why not support John Deaton? They claim the distinction between the offering and the token in the Kick case is good for all crypto. By their own logic, allegations in the Ripple case are bad for all. How blinded by bias are they? So he's referencing this here, and I'm just going to quickly read it. It's saying, this is referencing the Kick versus SEC case that happened. It says, when we look at the Kick investigation, we can tell from the Wells notice that the SEC originally looked at both Kick Interactive and the Kin Foundation. However, when the complaint was issued, it only focused on the offering of Kin in September 2017 token sale, not Kin in the ecosystem today. The fact that the SEC investigated the Kin Foundation but decided not to pursue a complaint is good news for developers, platforms, and others in the ecosystem who use the token, because it separates the question of the token sale from the activities in the ecosystem since then. This is notable because the SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, has stated that in his view, all ICOs have been securities, which would include Ethereum, but that doesn't necessarily make the token a security today. So that's why Hodl Maxi had references. So we're coming down here. It says their interpretation of William, which is funny because we've been talking about how he's claiming it was his personal opinion. That SEC had claimed that William Hinman's Ethereum free pass speech is his personal opinion. And throughout the entire interview with the SEC logo behind him, he's saying we don't feel Bitcoin and Ethereum are securities. So he says William Hinman's speech as guidance. You would think they'd be all over Ripple case to help. Any skeletons in that closet? So coming over here to the next thing and referencing that, Johnny Deaton says, I've stated from the beginning, had the SEC charged Ripple for specific sales of XRP during earlier years, I would have never sued the SEC. But it did the opposite and even went further, claiming today's secondary market sales are also illegal. Yet the Blockchain Association is quiet. Why? Coming down here, he says, to be fair, I haven't reached out and asked for any help or assistance. Since others are questioning why some haven't offered support, I can only speculate that because I've called out and brought attention to the Ethereum's free pass, which, if true, is both juvenile and short-sighted. The SEC is claiming because Ripple was instrumental in creating a secondary market for XRP, all XRP are therefore securities. If successful, the same thing could be argued versus Vitalik Buterin, Joseph Lubin and Consensus and so on. Vitalik was able to halt the trading of Ethereum for Christ's sake. It says, albeit with honorable intentions. I don't blame ETH promoters for lobbying for forbearance. They should have, although I would have lost the arrogance and hypocrisy. But today, the enemy is not each other; it's the SEC. So he's pretty much, kind of stamping out this point that Holdo Maxi had put out about, the Blockchain Association and kind of their view on the Kick Interactive stuff with the SEC, and now comparing it to, Ripple versus SEC and the whole Ethereum free pass stuff. So coming over here, the blockchain backer had also commented. He says, Twitter profile says the united voice of the crypto industry. To my knowledge, you haven't unified with the XRP community or John Deaton regarding the SEC attack on XRP and all of crypto. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So he's calling out, this so-called Blockchain Association and all these other, people. The whole point behind me bringing this up is because, as you can tell, as everything is surfacing, with, all the, as they call us, online slews or Twitter slews, and, the community coming together, kind of surfacing, the SEC and all the players in the background and what they try to, do with the Ethereum free pass behind closed doors is all being surfaces. It's all being surfaced. There's really no hiding what's kind of in plain sight at this point. So they're calling out this blockchain association like, hey, like where you're at, you claim to be for, the entire industry here. Why aren't you supporting and, and kind of fighting back against, the overbearing and overpowering SEC? So, we're going to continue on here. So Jim Himes, there's been a lot going on with this whole Competes Act stuff and how he tried to sneak in this so-called pretty much he tried to sneak in this information within the documents within this bill that pretty much would cause a lot of negativity within our space. So this had came out recently, and this is Jerry Brito. He says, I'm happy to report Jim Himes he has listened to our voices and looks like the notice and comment protections in the Competes Act related to special measures will be retained. This is a manager's amendment that will be considered later this week. And then Jim Himes says, thanks for working with us on this, Jerry Brito. Good outcome. So coming over here, Johnny Deaton says, thanks to the many people who tag Jim Himes on Twitter and social media and use Crypto Law US, connect to Congress at cryptolaw.us to make it known. We would vote out anyone supporting anti-American legislation. So he's talking about, he's referencing this off of the Jake Chervinsky's tweet where he says an amendment to the Competes Act will be proposed to restore the due process requirements for designating primary money laundering concerns. If adopted, this means no secrets or surprises. Exactly what we asked for. Thanks to Representative Himes for taking action on this. So obviously, with all that negativity that was coming out about it, obviously, we're seeing some positive light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to this. And quite evidently with, I forgot what the website was called that the digital asset investors. Oh, ProCoin News. They have their list of representatives that we need to vote out because they're anti-crypto and anti our space. Like, they can see the writing on the wall. We're not going to back down. We're going to continue to band together as a community and make sure that whenever it does come to these re-elections, we're going to remember who you are. If you're trying to hinder or stifle the innovation within our space, we're going to vote against you. And just know that there's millions and millions of people that have high conviction on this space and truly see where the future's going. So I'm glad that everyone's kind of voicing their opinion, utilizing Johnny Deaton and Crypto Law US, and just utilizing each other to, support one another, to build one another up, to surface the truth and surface the real in a fair manner. Coming over here, I wanted to play this because I highly value what John Deaton's really stepped up to do for our community. Obviously, he's an investor in the space, but he saw wrongdoings within our space. So he took it upon himself and his organization, or his law firm, to step up and fight for what's right for us. So I wanted to play this because I thought it was pretty powerful. So let's take a listen in.
I established Connect to Congress on the Crypto Law site. And to give you an idea of how outspoken crypto investors are, we have 28,000 messages just from my little cryptolaw.us website where you connect to the Congress. We have 100 senators have been contacted. Every House of Representatives been contacted. Again, 28,000 messages have been sent. Also, the international XRP holders, almost 16,000 have signed that petition. And so we're speaking out. I established Connect.
So if you haven't, and you want to get involved, make sure you get involved. Go on, Crypto Law US Twitter and see how you can get involved. Whether it's connecting to Congress, speaking to or sending a letter to your representative, or joining the class action lawsuit, or whatever the case is. Do your part and jump into this fight. I'm going to end this with a blockchain backer. As I've told you before, I value his technical analysis, his sentiment on the market, and just kind of how he views things based on his experience and his knowledge in the space. And he's saying here, if time matters, And if this thing continues, we've made it to the final part. So whether the blockchain backer is right or wrong, I mean, he has this overlay of kind of where we're at and kind of what's happened. If he's right about this and we start, going through this retracement when it comes to Bitcoin versus the US dollar or whatever, and we start going through the retracement, it seems like we're getting ready to have some sparks flying when it comes to the altcoin market. Because in his videos, he talks about how he compares the past when it comes to other bull cycles and bull markets, and how they operate. When Bitcoin makes its top and then it takes this big crash and then it retraces. During that retracement, per history, is when the altcoins tend to actually go on their final run and their final blow off top. So he's been saying he feels Bitcoin's in its bear market, and he's just waiting for some sort of bottom to come in and a retracement to happen. So whether he's right or wrong, and Bitcoin is in its bear market and we're just waiting for the alts to run, he's saying we're in this range. So if this is really following, obviously not going to be verbatim, but it's going to have some sort of rhythm to it or rhyme to it. If he's right, I mean, who knows when things are really going to start taking off. And quite honestly, with the SEC versus Ripple stuff, everything can, in a sense, line up perfectly. In regards of maybe possible, settlement. Ripple gets their clarity, XRP, takes off with the rest of the market while Bitcoin retraces. Who knows? But I just kind of wanted to throw that out there, just because I know there's a lot of still a lot of extreme fear in the market. Just know that there's a lot of analysts out there that I follow. Some of them, well, most of them think, we're just in a bear trend right now. We're still in a bull market or a bull cycle, while Bitcoin or blockchain backer on the other hand thinks Bitcoin is in a bear market and we're just waiting for a bottom and a retracement to have the alts go on their final run. So whether, blockchain backer's right or the other analysts I follow are right, all in all, there's a lot of positivity from where we're at. So with that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.